Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Stefan Jimenez from the Roto Beast team, and I'm here to present you our NBA picks for Monday, December 6th. If you're new to our channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL and NBA videos. And please make sure and click the like button as it really helps us out. I'm sorry I put this up late. I usually do it the night before. I kind of got in pretty late last night, but I wanted to kind of get you guys something. The cool thing about doing it later in the day is I already got some injury news. I don't got everything I need, but I have some, so I'll kind of get you that what I do know already. So we got a pretty nice 6 game slate. I think there's a lot of good games on this slate. It's going to be a great night to watch some basketball. First we'll start with New Orleans at Houston. This game has the highest implied total of 226, with Houston being favored by 12.5. Then we got Portland going in to Oakland to face the Warriors. This game has the second highest implied total of 217 projected points to be scored. Golden State is favored by 10.5. Then we got Toronto going into LA to face the Clippers. This game has a 216 total, and Toronto's favored by 5.5. And the last game I'm really going to be focusing on is going to be Charlotte at OKC. This game has a 205.5 implied total, and OKC's favored by 7. So I'm just gonna make this quick. I'm not gonna ramble on. I'm just gonna get you in and out. Obviously, Russell Westbrook going against Charlotte. This game could stay close, especially if Paul George is out. I like Westbrook a little bit more. He's gonna have to do more without Paul George being in there. He's been on fire. He's getting back to his triple double form from last year. He's actually surprisingly almost averaging a triple double again this year as well. At 11.2 price tag, I still feel like it's a little bit low for Westbrook. For him to hit value, you need about 56 from him. He's averaging 50 a game, so I definitely like him a little bit more if Paul George is out. But either way, he's in play against Charlotte, who's a pretty good team. So it's going to be a back and forth game. He's going to be battling against Kemba Walker. Then we will talk about Lillard, 9.3. He's from Oakland. He's going home. If you look at Lillard in the past against the Warriors the past couple years, he's actually played very well against them. At a 9.3 price tag, we need him to hit about 47. I definitely think he can get there. He's been, right around that mark the past 3 games. He's got 49, 49, and 47. He's averaging 43 fantasy points a game. So definitely take a look at Damian Lillard. Then we got Chris Paul. He's going to be battling Rondo. The minutes are starting to get back up a little bit. He's averaging, in the past 4, he's averaging about 34 minutes a game. And, the fantasy value is coming up as well, as he's getting more minutes. This game against the Lakers, he still scored 21 points, but he didn't get the assist number that we're used to of almost 10 assists a game. He's getting rebounds. He's got us a 35 shot. This one does hurt a little bit, but then, a little bit more tougher defensive matchup against Utah. At Utah, he put up a 58 spot. And then against Portland, in the last game, he put up 43. So at his price tag of 45, we need about at his price tag of 9,000, we need about 45. He's averaging almost 40 fantasy points a game this season. The Rockets are playing very well with him in the lineup, so I definitely like him tonight. Then we got. We're going to talk about Rondo on the other side of the ball. One thing I will note is it scares me a little bit that this is a back-to-back and Rondo played 37 minutes against Philadelphia. It does scare me, so you got to definitely pay attention to the news. But if they say he's going to play his regular minutes, or even if he's going to play what he's been playing before yesterday of about 28 minutes a game, I think his price tag is still a little bit too low. For him to hit value, you need about 27. He's averaging 26 a game, and in the past 5, he has got no less than 27 with the 57 last night. Toronto's a really good play. The cool thing about doing this later in the day is that now we know that Irving's out today. So Terry Rozier, he actually may start. Even if he doesn't start, he's going to pick up some minutes. And the guy's good. He's a good player. At 4,000, I think he can be a solid value play. You need 20 for him to hit value. He's averaging 20 fantasy points a game this season coming off the bench. So with a couple extra minutes, for example, this game, 6, 7, 8 games back, he played 30 minutes against Orlando and he put up 36 fantasy points. He just got a 30 fantasy point game against San Antonio in a tough matchup. So this guy definitely has upside. He fills up the stat sheet. So if you hear that he's starting today, I think he's a really, really good play. But even if he's not starting, I think he could still be considered a solid GPP play. And we'll go to shooting guard, James Harden. He just got a game time decision tag. I guess he has a bruised calf, it's saying, but he's probable for today. This guy, I mean, if you look at his stats in the past against New Orleans, he absolutely crushes them. At his price tag, you need about almost close to 60 for him to hit value. But he's been killing. He's been scoring a lot. I mean, he had a great month of November. He started off December hot as well. This guy's, I mean, he's in the MVP race. You gotta like him. He's averaging 54 fantasy points a game, going against New Orleans in an up-tempo game. James Harden is clearly the top shooting guard option. Then, I mean, I'm not going to really go into him, but Clay, his price 7,500. It's a little bit more than I would like, but without Curry in the lineup, he's getting extra shots. His usage rate is really high right now. So I do like Clay. I think he's more of a GPP play, though. I'll talk about McCollum on the other side of the ball. Him and Lillard are, I mean, they're the best two players on this Portland team, and if this game's going to stay if this game is going to stay close at all, they're going to need big games from both of them. For him to hit value, you need about 34. I definitely think he can get there in this up-tempo game against the Warriors. Yeah, and then so I mentioned Clay. I do like Clay. It's just all about, his price is a little bit higher, but the matchup is good, so I do like him. Then we'll work our way down. Jeremy Lamb, this is cool. We already know Batum is going to be out tonight. He was already rolled out earlier. Jeremy Lamb, he's a guy when he started earlier in the season. I mean, he was killing it. He was doing very well. He's averaging 27.7 fantasy points a game this season, and this is coming off the bench and starting, so it's kind of a mixture. But he's going to play a lot of minutes if Batum's out, which he already is ruled out. So I definitely like Jeremy Lamb today. I think he's just a really, really good cash game play. Then the last guy I'm going to talk about as shooting guard is going to be Marcus Smart. So if Rozier don't start at point guard, Marcus Smart's going to start at point guard. He's going to play a ton of minutes. I think either way, I do prefer him starting. So you really got to watch and see who they're going to end up starting. His minutes have been down a little bit, but if he's going to start, he's going to play, 30 to 34 minutes, I would say, today. At a 5.6 price tag, I mean, it's very fair. This is a guy who we know fills up the stat sheet. He's averaging 24 fantasy points a game this season. And at his price tag, we need about 27, 28 from him. So if he starts, even if he doesn't, I think he's a really good option. To move on to small forward, Kevin Durant. I mean, ever since Curry's been out, the guy's had his best two games of the season. He scored 66 and 74.5 fantasy points. He's playing big time minutes. He got a triple double against Charlotte, and he was very close against Detroit. And he's getting a lot of defensive stats this year. He's blocking a lot of balls, which is kind of giving him even higher floor. Yeah, no. So I mean, I really like Kevin Durant. Honestly, he's probably going to be the top small forward on the slate. It's just, are you going to pay up for him, or are you going to pay up for Westbrook? You're going to pay up for Harden. I mean, that's a decision that you do got to make. But he's in another great spot against Portland, so I do like Durant a lot. We got Gallinari. I mean, Gallinari's Gallinari. His minutes are getting back up. He played 36 minutes against Washington the last game. If he's going to play 36 minutes, you got to like him. For his price tag, you need about 31 for him to hit value. You can't expect him to go off for 25 points every night. I think he's a guy, he'll score you 17, 18 points a game. He doesn't really fill up the stat sheet too much. He'll get you a little bit here, a little bit there. So I think he is more of a GPP play. But, I mean, I do like him, though. I mean, on a small slate, the options are thin. And I think he's a solid play. Then we got Jaylen Brown. He's gonna have to score a little bit more. May have to play a couple more minutes without Irving being in there. They're gonna ask a little bit more from him. The young guy, he's been playing very well. His minutes are pretty consistent. He's averaging about 32 minutes a game this season, and 26 fantasy points a game. At his 5.5 price tag, you need 27.5 for him to hit value. I definitely think that he can get there, especially with Kyrie Irving out. Everybody's going to get a little bit more of a usage bump. So definitely look at Jaylen Brown. One guy I'll quickly mention, Paul George. he went through shoot around, but he's questionable for today. If Paul George does play, I mean his price tag's down a little bit at 7,800. So I do like him. I mean he's a solid play if he's going to be on his regular minutes. Before he got hurt, I mean he was playing massive minutes. 39, 40 minutes in a lot of games this year, and the production hasn't been there. In the past couple games he did play, but they were tough matchups. A really good defensive team in San Antonio and a Utah team who plays pretty good defense as well with Gobert in the middle. But before that, I mean, he was killing. He's hit 60 a couple times this year. He's been regularly in 50, mid 40s, high 40s. So the upside's there. The price tag's down. If he's gonna play and play his regular minutes against Charlotte, I definitely like him in this game at home. The last guy I'm gonna quickly mention is gonna be. I don't know how to say it. It's Wanaba, but his minutes are trending up. He's got at least 30 minutes in the past 2 games. So that's something that you really gotta like. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. He plays a little defense. He's gonna score you. He's not gonna score you crazy amounts. He's gonna score you probably right around here, probably 11 to 13 real life points. But he's getting rebounds, getting a couple assists, playing really good defense. The past 2 games, he's got at least 31.5 fantasy points. So you definitely gotta take a look at him. For his price tag, you need about 22 to 23. If he's gonna play, 30 minutes a game, I definitely think that he can get you there at a 4,500 price tag. The last guy I'll quickly mention is Iguodala. He's gonna play today. Against Detroit, he kind of had an off game. He only scored 9.5 fantasy points. This was kind of a dud for him. But before that, the 2 games that Curry were out, he scored 33 and 25 fantasy points. I think he's pretty much going to give you, I would say, about at least 20 fantasy points. In general, is kind of what I think his floor is. And for his price tag, value, you need about 23. So I think it's a very fair price. I do like Iguodala going against Portland. It's going to be an up-tempo game. They're going to be back and forth. A lot of three-pointers, a lot of long rebounds. So definitely take a look at Iguodala. Power forward, Anthony Davis, if he's going to play, he's considered questionable after aggravating his same injury that he just came back from against the Rockets. He had a really good game against the Phillies yesterday. He played 40 minutes, so that's kind of concerning on a back-to-back 40 minutes for a guy who's coming off an injury. But, he played very well yesterday. He got 5 blocks, kind of boosted his fantasy points. He got almost 60. He got 60 fantasy points. At a 10.6 price tag, you need about 53. So, if he's going to play his full minutes, I do like him against Houston, but it's a big question mark, especially with reading that he hurt himself yesterday. So definitely just keep an eye out, but he's a really good play if he does play. We got Draymond. He's considered probable. This is one thing that we really got to think about is that all these guys are just they're all over the place. It's like what I mean by that is there's so many guys that are questionable, that are probable. We don't know what's really going to happen until a little bit later in the day. But I do definitely think Draymond's going to play today. He's in a really good spot against Portland. It's going to be an up-tempo game. Draymond, he's been playing well. In the past 2 games that he's played at least 38 minutes, and he scored at least 53 fantasy points. The most mind-boggling thing for Draymond is, look at this dude, he only scored 2 damn points against Detroit. But he got 6 rebounds, 13 assists, 6 blocks, 3 steals for 54 damn fantasy points and only scored 2 regular points. That amazes me. You can't always expect him to get this many blocks or this many steals. This is an outlier, but the fact that he fills it up and he still put up this massive total with only 2 actual points scored is really, really, I like something like that. For his 8,500 price tag, we need about 42.5 for him to hit value. Going against Portland, if this game stays close and he's going to play 38 minutes, I really, really like him at this price point. I'll quickly just talk about Carmelo. I like Carmelo more. If Paul George is out, then I would really consider him. He's kind of struggling with his shot, but even though he's struggling, he's still scoring 18 points a game. Overall is what he's averaging for 32 fantasy points. At a 7.1 price tag, you need about 35 for him to hit value. So I do like him. Don't get me wrong. I do like him in this spot, but I like him a lot more if Paul George is out. And then we're going to go quickly. We got Tatum. He's going to play extra minutes. He's going to be asked to score a little bit more with Kyrie Irving out today. I mean, and the young guy, he's been playing very well. At a 6.3 price tag, you need about 31, 32 for him to hit value. And you know what? I mean, in the past 5, he's got you 32 in 3 of the past 5. So definitely I like Tatum. I think he's in a really good spot with Kyrie Irving out. And then we're going to go to these two guys. Ibaka, one thing about him is the minutes aren't really where you want him. You want him to be at least 32 minutes, 32 minutes a game is what you want out of him. But I mean, even though he's only playing 26 or 28 minutes, he's still filling up the stat sheet. I mean, look at this guy. You for his 5.5 price tag, you need 27.5 for him to hit value. And look at this. I mean, he's got at least 20 in almost every single game this season. He's been very consistent. And, 27.5 is what we need. In the past 4, he's got at least, 29. So that's very, very promising going against the Clippers, who don't really have a big power forward now that Blake Griffin's out. And then the last guy I want to quick talk about is Aminu in the up-tempo game against the Suns. His price tag is, his minutes are starting to trend back up. He's been in 30 minutes or more in the past 2 games. He did come back from injury 4 games ago, so he is trending in the right direction with his minutes. He's a guy that he fills up the stat sheet. And one thing about him is it's either his shot's going to go down or his shot's not going down. So he's either going to score you 15 or he's going to score you 6 or 7. But he's averaging 10 a game on the season for 24 fantasy points. At his price tag, we need about 27. So, I mean, I definitely like him in this up-tempo game against the Warriors. There's going to be a lot of three-pointer shot in this game, and there's going to be a lot of long rebounds. So definitely take a look at Aminu. Marvin Williams as well. He looks good if we hear that Kaminsky's rolled out. Then he's going to play massive minutes. Last game, he only played 27 minutes. He got us 21 fantasy points. But the game before that against Chicago, he played 39 minutes. They gave him all the minutes that he could handle, and he scored 34 fantasy points. This is very good. You don't mind 34 fantasy points. And this was at like a 4.4 price tag. His price tag is up a little bit now. For him to hit value, you need about 25. But if Kaminsky's out, I definitely think he can get there against OKC in the little bit up-tempo game. So definitely take a look at Marvin Williams. We'll finish it off with center, DeMarcus Cousins. He's the best center in the league, so I always mention him. He actually only played 28 minutes yesterday. I didn't get to watch the game, so I'm unsure why he only played the 28 minutes. But the positive thing about this is Rondo, he played 38 minutes. You got Davis, he played 40 minutes. So for Cousins' minutes to be down yesterday, it only means that they're not going to be scared to run him for 40 minutes tonight if they absolutely need to. And even in this 28 minutes, he still got us 41 fantasy points. So definitely I think he's a top center on the slate. The only thing is for him to hit value, you do need a 60, which is a big price tag. And especially in a game that could be a blowout against Houston. Houston's a really, really good team, and he's going to be going against Capella, who's a pretty good defender. But at the end of the day, I really do like DeMarcus Cousins. Then you got Gasol. Ever since Mike Conley went out, he's like the focal point of the offense. He hasn't really been getting us where we really want at his price tag. So I would say he's a little bit more of a GPP play, but nevertheless, he's still getting big minutes. He's still filling up the stat sheet. And if he gets you a couple extra defensive stats, blocks, or steals, he's going to jump up there. For his price tag, you need about 42, 43. He could definitely get there. He had a 70-point game this year, so, he has massive upside. And he's been playing very well. He just hasn't been getting the defensive stats, but he's averaging 39 fantasy points a game this season. At his price tag, even if he got, his 39, I would still take that. It's very close to value. So definitely take a look at Marc Gasol. And we will go DeAndre Jordan against Toronto. DeAndre Jordan, he's been playing very good. Thing about him is he's not really a scorer, so that what kind of limits his upside a little bit. But he has been scoring a little bit more the past couple games. He's scored at least 14 in 3 of the past 4. But he's getting all the rebounds that Blake Griffin used to get, he's getting them now. So this is what's really, really pushing up his floor, is that he's getting these massive rebound games. I mean, in the past 5 games, he's got 16 or more in 4 of the past 5. He's getting a couple assists, a couple blocks. I think the price is fair. For him to hit value, you need about 37. In the past 4, he's got you at least 34. So definitely take a look at DeAndre Jordan. Then we got Capella. They're going to need him to play minutes to kind of stop Boogie. Otherwise, Boogie's going to go crazy. His minutes have been a little bit down the past 3 games. I mean, 22, 17, 21. It's not something you really want to see. But all season, I mean, he hasn't really been getting crazy high minutes. He's averaging pretty much mid-20 minutes. And even though he's only averaging mid-20 minutes, I mean, he's filling up the stat sheet. He's averaging 34 fantasy points a game. At a 7.2 price tag, we need 36 for him to hit value. I think he's going to have to be on the floor a little bit more to guard Boogie as long as he doesn't stay get in foul trouble. I think that he can have a really good game, and I do like him in this one. And the last guy I'm going to quickly talk about is going to be Adams. The guy's just been consistent. I mean, look at this dude. He's averaging 30 fantasy points a game. Nobody talks about him. For his 6.5 price tag, you need about 32 for him to hit value. He's going to have to play, minutes against Dwight Howard. And if he doesn't get in foul trouble, I mean, he can put in work. Dwight Howard, I mean, he's a solid defender, but Adams is a really good player as well. And Adams, he's been playing very well. I mean, that's something that I really want to note. In his past 5 games, he's got you at least 33 fantasy points in 4 of the past 5. Very fair price tag. So I do like Adams. He's definitely in play. So quickly, let me put a couple guys that I'm really liking out there. So first thing first, we'll talk about if he's starting. I like Rozier at point guard. Shooting guard, I'm gonna have to go with Lamb. Great price tag. If he's gonna start, he's gonna play a lot of minutes. Then we'll go at small forward. I like KD, and I also. There's a couple guys that you can really go for, but he's going to be my small forward core. For power forward, this is the one that's a little bit tough for me. There's a bunch of guys that I really, really like, on the power forward position. One guy I'm probably going to have to say that I like a lot is going to be Aminu. His price is just too cheap, and he fills up the stat sheet. And all these guys are fairly inexpensive. So, you got your KD, and you still got 6,800. So you can, you get a couple of really good guys in there. And then at center is a tough position. This was the one, honestly, I have a question mark at center. I don't know which route I'm going to go yet, to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to skip center, okay? But I always give you 5. So I'm going to go back to shooting guard. A guy that I really like today, is CJ McCollum going against the Warriors in this up-tempo game. The price tag is just very fair. So those are kind of where I'm at. Those are the guys that I'm really liking. CJ McCollum, I mean, if you went away from him, there's a couple guys in his price range that are really good as well. You could pay up for Curry. You could pay down a little bit and go with Smart. If Smart's going to start for Irving, save a little money. So that's kind of where I'm at for this video. If you got any questions, you want to talk about somebody, or if I miss somebody, I'm not perfect. I do miss people, and I like hearing your guys' opinion on people. This way, if I wasn't thinking about them, I definitely will consider them. So yeah, hey, let's get this money today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.